Welcome to Mikhail Messenger. Chaos in China as citizens demand their money and their homes. A lot's going down in the world, folks, and you don't want to miss it. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, Mikhail Messenger, and hit the notification button because people are not getting notifications, so it could be that it's getting turned off by some mysterious way. Guys, chaos is happening in China. People are losing their money, their homes, their electricity. Crazy things are going down, and China itself may go under through all this, but as we know, one of the great ways to come back from an economy falling is war. So this may push them into war all the more. We shall see. Wendy, good to see you. And guys, rapid developments in China are happening. Electricity supply is being rationed. Chaos from the don't pay movement on loans. So there's kind of two things happening here. Hey, Thankful Gamer, good to see you. Serious developments are underway in China, which has moved to rationing electricity to businesses in the southwestern part of the country due to high temperatures, increasing demand, while hydroelectric facilities face weak water flows. Hey, Bertie, good to see you. In southwest China's Sichuan province, temperatures, the bride of Christ. All right, man, good to see you. The southwest China's Sichuan province temperatures have regularly topped 40 degrees Celsius in recent days, prompting almost routine use of air conditioning in the region of 84 million people. To generate the electricity needs, Sichuan is 80% dependent on hydroelectric dams. However, waterways in the region are affected by a drought. So basically, they're having trouble with electricity because of the drought that's affecting everybody in Europe, in China, everywhere. God is removing the waters so that people will cry out to him. And some businesses may, however, operate at limited capacity to meet special needs, etc. But while this is going on, you've got another crisis happening where people have basically lost, they've been part of a Ponzi scheme. China is kind of committing a Ponzi scheme here where they have sold people homes that they're never going to get. And what has happened is people have been paying into these homes, kind of similar to how you would buy a home with a loan and you would pay that mortgage every month to keep your home. Well, China bait and switched it even more than that. You know, it's bad enough that you could make 90% of your payments and then they can still come and take your home away from you if you don't finish paying for your house, even though technically it should be 90% yours by then. They shouldn't get to take the whole place. That's in America in most parts, but in China, they do it one worse than that in that they make you pay for the house up front before you even get a house. So it's a great way to get a lot of money from people and never deliver on a product, and that's exactly what's happening. Protests have begun against Minshen Bank, and they're not allowing withdrawals. So there's run on the banks. People aren't getting their money. And they've been paying for homes that they've also have never received. And some people have been paying for years, waiting to get this house that they've been promised, and they never got the house. So they've lost their life savings paying for the homes, and they're homeless because they don't have a home. They thought they'd have a home by now, and now they're still, they're living in dire straits waiting for these homes to be available. It says, Minshen Bank, return our money. The depositors marked at a protest march. At the same time, some netizens spoke of illegal transfers of the surveillance funds. So basically, they've stolen this money, illegal transfers of billions of yen. The background is also heightened by the news that the bank illegally transferred 3 billion yen of funds from the supervision account. July 2022, a new wave of loan suspensions for unfinished properties of the mainland. So basically, they've taken all their money and they spent it on other things. They didn't even spend it on building their homes like they were supposed to. They went and they spent it on wild living or something like the prodigal son. I mean, I who knows? But they didn't spend it on the houses. They spent it on. I think they talk about it a little bit here. At the same time, there's an uproar from the videos that are leaking on YouTube showing the brutal beatings of protesters, borrowers, but the country's media seems to be silent. Well, this is China we're talking about, but you know what? America and the West is not much different these days. They cover up everything too. Let's take a look at a little bit of this video here. So you may have seen this before where they're kind of running on the banks, but this has been going on for some time now where people are basically protesting out in front of the banks. They're marching down the streets. They're chanting, "Give us our money back. I don't pay. I don't pay. I don't pay." The I don't pay movement, it's called in China. They've stopped paying their loan installments. So basically, there's a scripture that says, he who digs a pit will fall into it, essentially. And China has essentially dug their own pit here because they've allowed these banks to, offer loans to people for homes that they're never going to get. So the people are saying, well, forget that. I'm not paying that anymore. So they've stopped paying the loans, and now there's billions of dollars worth of loans that are about to go under. And so the whole economy is about to crash as a result, similar to what happened in America in 2008, and I guess throughout the world as well. But 2008, we experienced that as well with a big bubble burst. Well, this bubble is bigger than big because not only is the bubble going to burst, but people know they're not going to get a house, so they're not paying at all. I mean, there's just not even those who would maybe be good credit people who would normally pay their bills are saying, well, I'm not throwing my money away. They're smart enough to know that. So people are marching down the streets. The I don't pay movement in China, where they stop paying their loans. Let me speed this up a little bit so I can read some more of this to you here. All right. So they're basically marching down the streets. So you can get a flavor of this. So basically, they're standing out front of the banks. They're marching down the streets. And so you've kind of got, the citizens, and then you've got sort of what we'd call back in Nazi Germany, the brown shirts, or, the paid and, ANTIFA, as we have here in America, that, the bankers and so forth are paying to go in and fight against. They're dressed like regular citizens, so you don't think it's the government cracking down on them, but it's actually... they're dressed like regular citizens, but they're being paid by the government to go in there, just like they do in America and other places, where they pretend that they're also protesters, but they're actually paid opposition to go in and take you out. So the I don't pay movement in China, they stopped paying their loan installments, and they're selling air. The brokers, instead of using the money for other purposes like buying land, for example, so the brokers bought more land with the money, but they didn't build the homes they promised. They simply sold more apartments that had not yet been built and used the money from that transaction. So that is, of course, a typical Ponzi scheme. Unfortunately, Chinese brokers are now running out of rooms. Their sales in the 12 months to June were down 22% compared to 12 months. Loan strike, although they have paid their brokers, they are still paying their banks. In recent months, angry buyers have threatened to stop paying their loans if realtors don't keep working on their apartments. Kind of makes sense. And the real meaning of the boycott, however, lies elsewhere. Hey, Paul, what's happening? Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being a subscriber. Appreciate it. And you've been raptured into our fellowship here and into the chariot of fire. And be sure to join us tonight. We're going to be getting deep into the Bible and talking more about all that's going on with end times and rapture. The real meaning of the boycott. It shows that Chinese households no longer believe that they pre-purchase an apartment. It is given that they will get. This loss of confidence is not limited to the protesters. It also appears in weakened pre-sales. Solutions and risks requires central government involvement. The latter is understandably reluctant. So the government's not getting involved. In the long run, the only solution is to limit pre-sales, warns the economist. Okay, so the question is, what's going to happen as a result of these protests? Because people aren't getting their homes. They're finally standing up for themselves. And this always happens. Every generation kind of gets riled up and wants to stand up for themselves. Well, the last time they did that, we had what's known as this incident that took place, where I think millions were killed because they were protesting in the square. So are they going to get dealt with in this way, or what they did back in World War II era, where they sent out the brown-shirted fellows to pipe down people, or what they do here in the U.S., where they hire people in black attire to go out and destroy everybody. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. But, Revelation 16 does talk about the kings of the East. says the sixth angel poured out their bowl in the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, which is happening now. I've done reports on that. Check those out about the Euphrates River drying up, and to prepare the way for the kings from the east. So the kings from the east are going to start looking for money since their own citizens, the money's gone. The economy is about to crash. The yen is about to go down, and all these home loans aren't going through. So, they start looking to go to war. When your economy falls apart, war is one of the ways to bring it back together, and so they often go to war to kind of resolve that. So it'd be interesting to see if they go and move on Taiwan to steal their silicone chip businesses and other things, other forms of income that they may see as greater plunder now that their own economy is being shaken by this. And so just a quick report there. Just kind of want to let you know what's happening around the world. We will see you later tonight, and be sure to tune in then. And stay strong, guys. Jesus is coming back. The end is near, and the world is falling apart and moving into chaos and war. Great droughts. People can't even get water, as prophesied in Revelation 11, something the two witnesses are going to bring about as well. So some things to talk about tonight as we get together. Love you guys. Good to see you. Chrissy, Katie, Ronald, Thankful Gamer, War Medic, Amy, great to see all you guys. And I will talk to you again soon, later today. All the best.